Hey folks, going to be doing an unboxing of the new HeroQuest. Um, this is an older game that they just reprinted. Hasbro just reprinted under the Avalon Hill name. Um, it's a very basic sort of dungeon crawl game, but it has a lot of nostalgia value for a lot of people, including me. It plays 2 to 5 players, with one person having to play the overlord, so to speak. If you're familiar with Descent, they play you. You have to play the evil wizard, um, and then the other players play the 4 heroes. All 4 hero characters actually have to play in every game. Well, they don't have to, but they make it clear that if you're not playing with all 4, then you're going to be at a disadvantage. So if you would play less than 4, you're making the game harder for yourself. It doesn't scale in difficulty based on how many characters are actually playing. The game is designed around all 4 characters being in the game at the same time. So this was on the Hasbro Pulse system, and just started delivering a week or 2 ago. I just got mine in the mail a couple days ago. I did open it up and go through it, pull out the rules so I could refresh my memory and everything. But I have not looked at anything else. I did go all in on the I don't want to call it a Kickstarter, on the Hasbro Pulse. But it came with basically the first 2 quest packs. But I know there are I think there's at least one more official quest pack that was released way back when, but for whatever reason wasn't included. There are a bunch of extras as well. 3 extra quest books in the I think this was called the Mythic tier. It was all in, and one of those quest books was designed by Joe Mangiano. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. Um, big D&D guy, so he designed that whole quest book for this game. That being said, there is a bunch of stuff going around online with in Twitter and Board Game Geek and whatnot about complaints about the quality. Some people were complaining about the quality of the cardboard and the minis and all that stuff, the inserts or lack thereof. Um, the same thing you really get with every other game. This game was a little on the pricey side, probably because they knew they could get away with charging that because people will pay for that nostalgia factor. Um, and it's definitely, some of the components are not up to the same quality as, say, um, Fantasy Flight games, like for instance Descent. But it's not bad. I'm still glad that I purchased it. I don't have any regrets, I guess I should say. There's nothing in here that I saw, at least in the base box, because that's all I opened up, that would has me disappointed that I wasted my money or whatever. That being said, I believe there are some typos and misprints on the maps for some of the quest books, not in the base game but the expansions, where there's missing. They forgot to add a door to the quest book on a room, so you can't get into it, and you basically have to. You as the overlord, the game master, have to make that decision as to where you're going to put that door. I don't know if they have released errata for it already or not, but they may do that as well. So let's just get right into it. One, the box. People were complaining that the box was very flimsy. It is a thin cardboard. It is very flimsy, but it looks like it fell out of the 80s or the 90s. This is how board game boxes were made. In fact, mine's already torn on the corner slightly, but that doesn't bother me. The other thing is that there was no shrink around this game, and I'm trying to position this so you can see it. There it is. You can see it there, right here. There's the sticker. Those circle stickers they put on. There was one on each side. I just cut it with a knife. I didn't bother trying to tear it off because it'll probably tear the cardboard out. It doesn't bother me that much, but there was no shrink wrap on this. That was the only thing holding this box together. There was no shrink on any other boxes either. All right, so first thing we have, we take this open, or pull this up rather. This is one of those things where they have a sleeve over the vacuum form tray for the minis. And we'll just set that like that. We have our dice here. Man, that's tight. Some people were complaining about that as well. The vacuum form is very tight. The dice seem they seem fine. Some people were saying they felt light. The red dice do, but they're smaller. They don't feel like a. I mean, they're heavy enough. These dice definitely have heft to them. You got your shields and your skulls, and then just movement dice. This is a roll to move game. I don't know if there are any rules that will essentially get around that or offer an alternative, but it is a roll to move game. So somebody else was complaining that it is a little tight. They use the softer plastic, so it's bending, which is fine. I don't mind that at all. It's not like ABS or anything like that. Minis are okay. I'd say they might be a little bit. They're probably better than what they were originally. It might be the same casts, but maybe they're the same. I don't know. Probably not the same molds, but. So you have your different color monsters. The heroes are in red, which might throw some people off, just because usually monsters are red and the heroes are the white. But you have some mummies and or goblins, I'm assuming, orcs. Looks like death knights or some sort. You can see here where this big guy. If I can get him out of there. Man. Alright, let's pull this over here so I can actually look at it. That seems really tight. Yeah, that is really, really tight. I kind of feel like I'm going to break that if I try to pull it out of there. Popped it out of there. That's a really tight. Here, let me put this over here. So there's the mini. You can see the bending in his staff right there. This is a softer plastic, so you should be able to just put it in some nice hot water and bend it in place and hold it there for until it cools down. But yeah, that's the quality of the minis you're getting. Nothing spectacular, but it's not bad. I kind of don't want to put him back in there, but it went in easier and it came out. All right, so that's the monster tray and the heroes. Let's just get that back into the sleeve here. We'll set that off to the side. And the next one should be the furniture, I believe. I'm going to slide this up. Yes. So here's all the furniture. You got your character sheets. Nice thick pad of character sheets. There's plenty. Man, I don't know. 100, 150 maybe. That's quite a few. But you got place for your name, character, how many of your attack dice, defend dice you're going to roll, your health and your mind points, what weapons you have, armor, your body points, what quest you're on, coins, and other stuff. And then we have, oh wow, these are actually really, these almost feel like they're ABS, almost like they're resin. They're not, but they got some heft to them. That's the, yeah, it's still the bendy plastic, but it's got a nice weight to it. Let me get one more. This one looks like it might be flimsy and hard to get out. Pull that over here. Yeah, this is, I'm gonna have to agree with people online. The insert is super tight. So here is the weapon rack, weapon and armor rack. And then we have the temple. It's a solid piece of plastic with the two candles. Decent amount of detail on that one. Probably be a good thing to paint. Alright, let's put this back in there. And then we'll put that one back in there. Let me flip back over here. We have a deck of cards with just a paper sleeve, essentially. Open those up. So these are all the cards. You got your reference cards and I'm assuming treasure and such. Yeah, artifact cards, equipment cards, all that fun stuff. Definitely, insert is not made for sleeving. If you try to sleeve these cards, they're going to be a good inch above this well. Let's see here. So the doors, so you have your closed doors, and then you have your, oh, did I not put that in there right? And you have your open doors. In the original game, these were wooden, and there was just a base, and then they weren't wooden, they were cardboard. All of the terrain was cardboard. So it's nice to see it in plastic. It's still, I'm disappointed in this insert. These are the skulls. They're on sprues, so I gotta clip those off. Yeah, these are little skulls, and they note damage as monsters take damage. Some monsters only have one life, so they're one and done. But some of them have multiple life, so you use the skulls out on the board to sort of track their health. I believe, unless there's cardboard tokens for that, maybe there are. We'll get to them. There's a couple rats here. I think those might just be for decorational purposes. These skulls might be too. The tokens might be there for there were tokens in the original game that you tracked how much damage each monster has taken. Alright, so there's that. Let's get this sleeve back in here. Slide that over there. Now we have the quest book. This is going to be what the evil wizard plays. I think this is Zargon or Zorgon. He's going to be going through there and going through, that's what he sees, what the maps are made up of, because he sees everything and only reveals parts of the map as players gain line of sight to it. So that's the quest book. You got your little rule book here. It shows you how to play. It's not very long. It's only 21 pages, which would probably only be like 10 pages if it was full sheets. It is interesting though. It's got this string, like the binding is just a piece of string. So I don't know how well that's going to hold up. Oh yeah, there's the skulls. Okay, so here's the stairs where you're going to start. You've got single blocks to block passages, double blocks to block passages. You got your pit traps. Not sure what that's used for, and then the skulls for counting monster health. Oh, and they're double-sided. I'm not sure if that means anything. Yeah, I guess it does. There's like open secret passage, I guess. Yeah. Or no, these are the pit traps, and then these are the blocks to seal off a passageway. Okay, so there's that. We have the this is the Game Master screen that the Game Master is going to be doing all his stuff behind, and it has all the charts, the monster health and whatnot, combat summaries, how the monsters move, what the heroes can do, etc. It's a nice, somewhat thick piece of cardboard, so it's not like it's a piece of paper. It should hold up over time. We got the board. My board, you can see it's a little warped on the corners. I'm not too disappointed in it, but oh, nice. And it's got the so I think they said the HeroQuest. So kind of lay this out. You see it says HeroQuest over here. I think this side is supposed to face towards the Game Master so he can read it, and then the other players sit on the other side. So this is the board. It's almost made the old school way where there's that indentation so it can where it folds over rather than how boards are made mainly these days. Most boards don't have that little dip, that little that trough in the center of the board. So basically, the players will start in one of these rooms on the stairs, and then there'll be a door, and then as they step out in the hallway, then the Game Master reveals the other doors or anything else that might be out there when they go into a room, that type of thing. Movement, you can't move diagonally, you can only move orthogonally. Attacking is only orthogonal unless you have a weapon that allows you to attack diagonally or at range. Most of the standard dungeon crawl rules apply. You can move through allies, you can't move through enemies. Line of sight is there seems to be two categories of dungeon crawlers that do for their line of sight rules. One line of sight, you can trace line of sight through allies, and the other one say you can't. This is one that says you can't, but there's a little leeway. So it's basically, if you can make a good argument that your character has line of sight to an enemy, you're probably gonna have line of sight to it. If you're in this square and you have a friendly right in front of you, and you're trying to attack this enemy up here, technically you trace line of sight from center to center. So technically, you would trace from the center of this square to the center of this square, and it would pass through this square. In the rule book, they show that is legal, that you can you do have line of sight, even though it passes through the corner of this square. So there is a little leeway. Like, yeah, you could probably see around your buddy and be able to hit this person or this enemy up here. Now, if the enemy was in front of your ally, then you obviously are not going to be able to hit him. So there is that. So that's the board. Like I said, mine was a little warped, but I mean, it doesn't. I'm not bent out of shape over it. And the last thing is, there's this little. We got this little stand in here. I'm assuming, in case you didn't buy the expansions, it basically puts everything up towards the lid. But I do have all the expansions, so I'm hoping removing this will allow me to put all the expansions in there. But I'm just going to put it back in for right now. Make some music. And then we'll just put all this stuff back in. There's no baggies, and there's no places to actually store these tokens, which is a disappointment, but not surprising from Hasbro. Get that back in there. Get that back in there, and it comes on. It does come up to the top, and we'll get that back on there like that. So that's the base HeroQuest Game System, the base game. Then we have some of the expansions. So first we'll go over Keller's Keep. This is the quest pack. I think this was quest pack 1. I think the Witch Lord was quest pack 2. I can't recall though. Oh, it's got the it's got the stickers on it too. Let me see. I got a knife around here somewhere. Maybe I'll just use my thumbnail. Yep. All right. Oh, all 4. Huh. I need to find a knife. I thought there was one around here somewhere. There's some ice. There's pins. See if a pen will have enough oomph to... Nope. Wait, that might. That might. Nope, that's not cutting it either. Maybe the corner of it? Well, need to find a knife. Need to find a knife. Oh, I know where there's one. All right, got a knife. Perfect. All right, Keller's Keep quest pack. Got another quest book that the sorcerer, evil sorcerer, will have to use. We got some more punch out tokens. It's like a rolly ball trap, statue, more pit traps, some trap doors. These are not double-sided. Another deck of cards. I hate these paper sleeves. I hate them. Equipment. Yeah, just additional cards, artifact cards. And then we have our minis. We have a brown door. That's some kind of special door. I don't think I ever played. Ooh, that's a special door too. I never played with the expansions. Back when I played this with friends, we just had the base system. So it's like there's some more orcs. There's some kind of mermen. More goblins. Yeah, interesting. All right, so we'll set that card sit right there like that. I doubt there's anything underneath it, but let's check. Nope. That would be too clever for Hasbro. And we'll put that back there, that back there. So that's Keller's Keep. Definitely not going to be able to... Well, you probably pull out the vacuum form and fit it in the bottom of that box or on top. But there won't be anything to hold... Well, there doesn't need to be anything to hold those things in because those vacuum forms are so tight. Anyway, there's Keller's Keep. Here we have the Witch Lord. Let's just open this one real quick. That one. That one. That one. Alright, here is the Return of the Witch Lord quest pack. Again, we have another quest book. We have another punch out with a nice tile here with the skull. A couple more tiles. Looks like some gravestones of some sort there. Also not double-sided. Then we have a couple more doors. And looks like just a bunch of skeletons and zombies. So it doesn't look like... I think those are all in the base game as well. So I don't think there's... any new monsters. Unless they have like special abilities or something. I don't know. More equipment cards. Artifacts. Pretty much the same layout as the other expansions. So we'll just put this back like that. And that is the Return of the Witch Lord. And then we have... This is, let me get this opened here. This is the expansion, or not expansion, the, like all the extras from the Kickstarter. There were people, so those expansions I just showed you were the original expansions. And these expansions are new, if I recall correctly, made by prominent designers, or not designers, but writers. Supposedly prominent designers and writers. But this is the Mythic box. 4 heroes, 18 monster miniatures, 6 white combat dice, game cards, character cards, etc. So let's open this up. So we have another punch with a big tile here. In addition, looks like some sort of tavern. Looks like maybe acid tokens of some sort. This one is double-sided, so on the back here is this weird room with all that poison and acid stuff, so that's interesting. Some runes on the floor. Then we have here we have our quest books. So we have Prophecy of Taylor by Stephen Baker. We have The Crypt of Perpetual Darkness. This is the one by Joe Manganiello. Manganiello. Yeah. And then we have The Spirit Queen's Torment by Teos Abadia. So these are more quest books. I think the quest book in the default base game has 14 quests. I'm assuming each of these have somewhat similar number of quests. So you probably have 5 quest books there plus that one, 6 quest books. I'm going to say close to 90 quests maybe. Maybe close to 80 quests, more like it, probably. So there's you're going to get plenty of content here. Another deck of cards. Again, with these paper sleeves, killing me. Artifacts. Ooh, warlock spells. Oh, that's right. There's new heroes here. Bard. You have the warlock, the bard, the druid, and... Oh, there's only 3 heroes? No. Warlock, bard, druid. You are the warlock, you are the bard. Oh, the wizard. A different wizard, I guess. He doesn't have extra... I guess he used the wizard stuff from the first one. Where was that? Right there? I think that's where that was. You have plenty of miniatures here. Oh, that one just pulled right out. That one's not in there very well. So the dragon. Some more heroes. Yeah, this vacuum form tray isn't bad. Monsters, zombies, another set of dice. Oh, I spoke too soon. Good lord. I'm just trying to pull the dice out and pull the whole insert out. That's ridiculous. Looks like it's the same style dice for the most part. Yeah, that insert is definitely very tight. And then what's in this box? Heroic characters. 5 miniature, 4 character cards. Oh, even this one has the stickers holding the box lid on. Only 2 of them, though. They felt they could get away with just 2 of them on this box. And of course, there's no thumb cutouts on the box, so it's hard to grab the other. Alright, so here's the Barbarian, the Dwarf, and the Elf. These are from the original. These are new sculpts. And I believe this is like the Epic or the Elite Heroic. The Heroic Heroes. He popped right out of there. The hero, I think it just makes it. I don't know if it makes it easier. If you can change difficulty. I'm not sure. But anyways, that's that. That's the extras from the Kickstarters with the extra quest maps and monsters and such. But that is HeroQuest, the system, so to speak. Game system is what they call it. It looks like it's pretty much just a reprint, except for this stuff. This is all new. It is a very basic dungeon crawl. You basically can, on your turn, you roll the dice, you move, and then you can take one action. And your actions are attack, search for treasure, search for traps, search for hidden doors, disarm a trap, I can't remember. I think there were 6 of them. I think there were 6 actions. I'd have to look in the rule book. But it's just super basic. You're rolling, just a handful of dice. It's basically you roll dice if you for attacking. If you roll, however many attack dice you roll, for each skull is a hit. The monster defends with however many dice they get to roll. If they roll there's 2 different shield symbols on the dice. There's the black shield and the white shield. The white shield are for heroes. The black shield is for enemies. Black shield, there's only 1 face on it. There's 2 white shields, and then there's 3 skulls on each die. So the enemy would roll the dice. If they roll a black shield, for every black shield they roll, they block damage, and then they take damage, and then that's it. There's no group pool of coins or anything like that. So whatever hero, each hero can search a room once. For treasure, there's a search deck, so to speak. That is basically so it is a little treacherous. It reminds me of Shadows of Brimstone. Does that have a search deck? I think so. There's only 4. Yeah, there's only 14 cards in it, and 2 of them are bad. So in HeroQuest, half of the cards are wandering monsters or traps or hazards, I think is what they call them. So you have a 50-50 shot of something being good or bad when you search, but searching is basically the only way you're going to get coins that you then spend between quests to get better equipment. So, half the time you're going to be hurting yourself, half the time you're going to be helping yourself. You could also find weapons and equipment and that type of stuff too, but mostly I think it's coins and riches that you can sell. But there is no collective pool. So if the Barbarian gets 120 coins on a quest and the Wizard gets 20 coins, they don't share them when they go to town in between the quests to buy equipment. Whatever you have is what you have to spend. You can't like trade in town, so to speak. Um, you're not supposed to be able to. I guess you could house roll it however you want. Turn order is also a big thing. Um, Basically, the person to the left of the game master goes first, and then it continues clockwise around the table. They do suggest a specific order for people playing the game for the first time. I think it was barbarian, dwarf, elf, wizard, and then the game master. Um, but you do keep the same turn order each. That's just how the game works. That's how the games were designed back in the day. Not very, not a lot of forethought gone into it. There's not a lot of strategy in this game, but yeah. So that's HeroQuest. I'll probably be doing another video here shortly for Role Player Adventures, which is another basic. I don't want to say it's too basic. It's more of like a introduction to role playing. There is a board, and there's not a board. That's a lie. It's more of a it's really an introduction to role playing. You have your characters, you have your stats. You're picking dice out of a bag to roll to pass tests and combat and that type of thing. My group played through the first adventure last weekend and had a blast. I really enjoyed it. It's like a choose your own adventure style thing where you have different options to do different things, and it seems like it's very well put together. I'm excited to play it again. It's also, since it's in the role player universe, you could actually play a game of role player, the game where you're creating a character, and then you can import that character into adventures. They have a whole import guide where you can sort of translate the characters you create from that game into the adventures game. So I'll probably be doing a video on that soonish. Yeah, that's HeroQuest. Disappointed in the vacuum form trays, way too tight. So people's miniatures are probably going to be broken, even though they're the softer plastic. It was ridiculously tight, especially those dice wells. Some of the miniatures might, especially like the skeletons, where they're thin components, like the model is made up of thin pieces. There's going to be a likelihood that those miniatures are not going to last very long. But that's what glue is for. Cards seemed fine. Paper for the rulebook and all that seemed fine. The board seemed fine. It was your standard. Again, it looks like they just took this game from the 90s and late 80s, I believe, and just reprinted it as using the same exact stuff. They factory stuff. The box is thin. But that's how the games came back in the day. They definitely gave you a ton of the character sheets, though. That I like. Most games cut that way back to save on cost. And assuming that they'll have like a downloadable version so you could print your own, basically. But then you got to cut them out because they're usually cut to size. They're not full sheets of paper, and it's a pain in the butt. But it looked like there was at least 100, probably 150, 200 on that thing. That's going to last. You use your same character sheet essentially through the whole quest. But you can play with multiple people. There's no like saving the game. Like you can't. It's not like something like with like Gloomhaven where you have to play with the same group every time. You can have multiple games going. You just have to make sure your character sheets are recorded. They actually tell you to make sure your players bring their character sheets. So they're assuming that your players are going to take their character sheets home with them, which I thought was rather humorous. Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just keep them with the game? I don't know. I guess some people were particular like that. But yeah, those are my thoughts on HeroQuest. Probably try to get a game of it here together at some point. Looks like I said, it's basic. It's more basic than maybe Ultra Quest. Um, Ultra Quest was fun. I enjoyed that. There's a little bit more going on than in this, but the story. I can't remember if the story's that involved. It's your basic generic fantasy story, I think. Um, you have to remember when this game was made. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching.